One of the biggest misconceptions about Puerto Vallarta is that people move here because it's going to be super cheap. And truly, that's not the real reason. Because Puerto Vallarta is not dirt cheap. Not anymore. Not if you want walkability and good restaurants and beach access, modern condos, strong Wi-Fi, polished neighborhoods, and a lifestyle that still kind of feels comfortable for most Americans and Canadians. That version of Puerto Vallarta can absolutely cost real money. And yet people still keep moving here. Why? Because what a lot of people are actually chasing is not cheap, dirt cheap. They're actually chasing relief, like in all areas of their life. Financial relief, lifestyle relief, mental relief, time relief. And weirdly enough, Puerto Vallarta can still create that feeling even when some categories cost more than people expect. The math here works very differently than the rest of the world. And honestly, I think that's the part people struggle to explain until they've actually spent real time here. So today I want to talk about something a little bit different. Not just what does Puerto Vallarta cost, but why do so many Americans and Canadians still feel financially lighter here, even when Puerto Vallarta isn't exactly dirt cheap anymore? Because once you understand that, you're going to start to understand what this city gets into and how it gets into your heart and your heads super duper fast. If you're new here, hello, my name is Laci. I've spent almost 10 years helping people relocate to my neon hometown of Las Vegas, Nevada. And somewhere along the way, I realized that I had become the kind of person who secretly looks up home prices basically every time I travel. And apparently, my friends do too, and like all the time. So I've had entire dinners in other countries where someone casually says, what if we just moved here? And suddenly everyone's pulling up their phones to look at condos and starting to decide if they're gonna be making this big move together. So I wanna help you do that here in Puerto Vallarta or anywhere else in the world that you might be thinking about moving, because I decided to no longer do the research from my phone at the table on the trip, but actually do the research for me and you, and that's what this channel is all about. I realized that there's a huge gap between travel content and actual relocation thinking. Travel content's gonna tell you, look how pretty this is. And relocation thinking asks, what could my life actually look like there? What would it be? Could it even work? And that's the question that I really care about. Puerto Vallarta is one of the most interesting answers that I've found so far, so I'm hoping you'll stick around. This channel is starting with Puerto Vallarta, and we're gonna go around the world and show you how it looks everywhere else. So let's talk about the biggest thing people get wrong about Puerto Vallarta. People think moving abroad is mostly about saving money. And yeah, that's a part of it. But honestly, I don't think that's true anymore. I think people are actually trying to buy back their time, give themselves more flexibility, finding peace, bringing walkability into their life. All the things that you're thinking about that give you more emotional breathing room for your daily life. That's very different than just saving money. But yes, Puerto Vallarta can absolutely cost less money than US cities, depending on how you live. Current 2026 estimates put a single person's monthly expenses, excluding rent, around 14,000 Mexican pesos, or 15,000. That's around $865 US per month. Broader expat-style spending, like people who are coming to a new country wanting to explore it, could estimate easily around $1,850 US per month, plus rent. Now that's all gonna depend on neighborhood, dining habits, housing style, transportation, how much you use your AC, and whether or not your personality becomes emotionally attached to those rooftop cocktails like mine sometimes does when I'm on vacation. So no, Puerto Vallarta is not magically free, but here's what is interesting. A lot of people still feel financially less stressed here, no matter what. That's the real conversation I'm hoping to have in this video. There is a life overhead theory that I'd like to talk about, and this is what I think people are actually reacting to. In the US specifically, especially in many major cities, life starts stacking costs in ways that feel emotionally exhausting, not just financially expensive, emotionally expensive. Everything feels optimized for driving and convenience and speed and stress, or recovering from stress and paying to recover from stress. And eventually people start asking, why does my life feel so expensive even when I'm doing okay, like financially? And that question really matters, because Puerto Vallarta changes the rhythm of spending. Not necessarily because every category is dramatically cheaper, but because daily life can feel simpler and slower, again, more walkable, more social, more outside, and less car dependent, less built around that constant escaping the life that you're having at home. So you stop paying for certain types of stress when you move abroad. This is huge. For example, if you lived in Zona Romantica, Centro, Marina Vallarta, Versailles, you may not need a car at all. That matters way more than people realize. Because now you're potentially removing car payments and insurance and gas and maintenance, parking, registration, random, why is there a $900 repair in front of my eyes moments that you don't want to have anymore, and you don't have to have anymore if you live in those areas. That alone can radically change monthly overhead. And current transit pricing is still very manageable. Puerto Vallarta buses are currently sitting around 11 pesos, which is like under $1 per ride. Uber is generally inexpensive compared to many US cities. And suddenly, if you do those two things, your life can kind of feel less operationally heavy, and that's not a small thing. And also saves you money. You can also stop paying for escape culture, and this is huge. This is one of the weirdest things that I've been noticing as I've been doing more research and kind of getting more introspective. Because in the US, especially in high-stress cities, people spend a lot of money trying to escape their own routine. Weekend trips, fancy dinners, expensive treat-yourself moments, those are constant entertainment spending moments that give you those quick dopamine things, hits, if you will, to your brain, because everyone's burned out and we all seem to be clamoring for it. In Puerto Vallarta, daily life itself can start feeling more like the thing that you're trying to escape to. That changes people emotionally, and it changes them fast. You're gonna be walking more, you're gonna sit outside more, you're gonna socialize more casually, you're gonna spend more time near the ocean, duh. You can slow down a little bit, and I think many people underestimate how much money they're actually spending compensating for stress back home. But here's where people get themselves into trouble. Now, before everybody quits their job emotionally in the comments, let me be very clear. Puerto Vallarta can also become expensive very, very quickly, especially if you want luxury buildings, ocean views, rooftop pools, imported groceries, constantly dining out, premium walkability, and a permanent vacation lifestyle. This city is very good at seducing people into that lifestyle inflation, trust me. You are moving here thinking, I'm gonna live simply, and then suddenly you're ordering cocktails on a sunset tour 7 nights a week, right? Or 4 nights a week for that. Your condo building has a rooftop infinity pool, you have opinions about artisanal coffee, and your budget is wearing linen and making emotional decisions. That's how it happens fast. That's how you start spending money when you don't need to. Housing is where it's gonna get really real, because housing is gonna determine almost everything for you in Puerto Vallarta. Current 2026 pricing shows 1-bedroom average rent around $925 USD per month. Now the common range is about $694 to $1,272 USD per month. But neighborhood changes everything. Zona Romantica, the fantasy version, is gonna give you walkability, restaurants, beach, a lot of nightlife, a lot of energy, and yes, you're gonna have to pay for it, my friends. Many of those 1-bedrooms in that area now commonly land anywhere between $1,400 to $1,800 USD per month. Versailles is another area. It's one of the smarter value plays because it's still social, it's still trendy, still walkable, but often more livable long-term financially. Now, Marina Vallarta is a very different story. It's more polished, more structured, very much more curated. It's more, I suddenly care about marina views, and it's generally far more expensive. Because this is one of the things I would tell anybody considering Puerto Vallarta. Whatever you do when you're trying to decide this direction is don't ask what's the cheapest neighborhood. In fact, that's a lot of the phone calls I have with people when they're trying to relocate is what's the cheapest or what's the safest? You need to be asking what version of daily life actually fits me. Because vacation you and real life you are not always the same person. Now, the food conversation is also very misleading. People love saying food is so cheap in Mexico. Yes, sometimes yes. Sometimes no. I learned that on my last trip. Current 2026 restaurant pricing shows casual meals are gonna run you anywhere from $11 to $12 USD. Mid-range dinners for 2 are gonna run you around $69 USD, which honestly, compared to many US cities, still feels pretty reasonable. But Puerto Vallarta also has a sneaky habit of convincing you one more sunset dinner is justified, one more brunch is harmless, one more cocktail is part of the lifestyle, and suddenly your budget starts behaving like you've permanently decided to live on vacation, and vacation budget, as we know, can be flimsy. Now, the thing that surprised me the most about Puerto Vallarta was not the prices. It was actually how differently life feels here. And I know that sounds vague until you actually experience it, but there is something about walking more and sitting outside more, slowing down and feeling less operationally overwhelmed just in daily life. That changes people emotionally. And I think that's why so many people become attached to this city. Not because it's dirt cheap, but because it feels lighter. And that's different. and I think worth it. Now, quick pause. If you're watching this and you're starting to think, okay, wait, this lifestyle might actually fit me. That's actually why I created this channel. I put together a free Puerto Vallarta relocation guide that breaks down neighborhoods and budgeting and some lifestyle fit information, relocation strategy, all kinds of really good stuff on our website. So you can grab that on our website. And if you're seriously considering moving, or honestly, you just want to talk to somebody about sort of the things that you need to be taking into consideration, you can also schedule a call with me. Like I said, I've spent almost 10 years helping people relocate to my neon hometown in Las Vegas, and I'm now in the process of doing this all over the world. I have real estate people set up in each city. I'm really working hard to build this channel to give you the information you need. And I'm not gonna sell you a timeshare. Just call me, we can have a conversation. It's no pressure. I just wanna give you some clarity. Now let's talk about healthcare because it is a huge part of this conversation. This category changes everything emotionally for many Americans and Canadians. Current healthcare estimates are showing general doctor visits running about $30 to $50 USD, and specialist visits often are between 46 to 87 USD, based on where you go, obviously. Now, for people coming from where you have high deductibles or insurance chaos, welcome to America, or expensive prescriptions, America, unpredictable medical bills, America, that matters enormously. And that's been something I'm taking advantage of in Mexico. Does that mean blindly move and assume healthcare solves itself? Abso-freaking-lutely not. But Puerto Vallarta has one of the more compelling healthcare value conversations that you're gonna find in a place that's this desirable. The real question isn't, is it cheaper? That's not the question I'm trying to answer. I think that's the absolute wrong question. The better question is, does this place allow me to build a life that feels better for the money I'm spending? Does it give me the healthcare that I need? Does it give me the lifestyle that I need? That is the Puerto Vallarta conversation that I'm trying to have on this channel. Now again, because some categories may not appear dramatically cheaper anymore, don't let that fool you. But if you're gonna be feeling lighter, your routine will be healthier, your overhead feels a little simpler, and your day-to-day life feels more aligned, people often start kind of feeling wealthier emotionally, even when the math isn't radically different. That's the secret nobody explains properly. So why do Americans and Canadians still feel financially lighter in Puerto Vallarta, even when it's not exactly cheap anymore? Because what many people are actually buying here is not cheapness, my friends. Like I said before, they're buying flexibility and lifestyle and that soul connection to a beautiful new place that can give you a different life. So it might cost similarly, but the emotional side of it, I think, can outweigh the costs, if you ask me. So this was just a quick video to kind of give you some perspective. If you are from Canada or anywhere in America and you're comparing costs, do not look at Puerto Vallarta and think, I need it to be dirt cheap and that's my only reason for going. Really reframe your thinking, start asking different questions, and do not expect dirt cheap. If you want dirt cheap, we can talk about that, but I think you need to be looking at what the emotional cost is what you're really gonna be gaining. Looking forward to seeing you on the next video. Do me a huge favor, subscribe, check out my website, download our awesome new guides that I've put out there, and schedule a call. I'd love to chat with you and just get to know you, and maybe you'll have a new friend who's gonna be relocating just alongside you. I'll see you next time.